Thanks for tuning in to High on Horror. I'm Drew.
And I'm John. This episode and every future episode is dedicated to all the horror hounds and smokers out there who want to expand their knowledge of the genre and have a good time.
Today we're reviewing the Spanish supernatural horror film Everyone Will Burn. It was released in 2021, but Draft House Films acquired the US rights in June of this year. Now, as horror fans, there's a lot of films that sound the same, derivative, but there's some that when you hear the title, you go, hey, what the fuck is that? That sounds good. And I think everyone can agree that Everyone Will Burn is a badass movie title. It's about a little girl that may be linked to a prophecy regarding the apocalypse. Does that sound intriguing? Stick around and hear our review today on High on Horror. Interviews, reviews, and the latest news all rolled into one. All right, dude. So it's Strainwreck. So what do you got for us, John?
All right, I got some Mandarin skunk. We didn't try it last week, but I had you smell it because I checked it.
Yes, I remember.
It smells amazing. It's low THC, which is actually in the notes here, but I tried some. I ain't gonna lie, it was amazing.
You sampled it. You already.
I had to make sure it wasn't poisoned. Mandarin skunk. It's a hybrid weed strain made from a genetic cross between skunk and California orange. This strain is 60% sativa, 40% indica. Comes in, on here it says 17% THC, but I got that 18, so ain't bragging or nothing. Making this strain an ideal choice for beginners and experienced cannabis consumer. Really? It's good for everybody. Why don't you just say that?
Yeah, right. It's a good gateway.
Yeah, they're even saying on here they're wanting people to leave reviews because this must be new because the review, there's only one review and it's from yesterday.
We got that screener weed.
Yeah, got that screener weed. Somebody's review, they gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
The comment was 4. Look, there's just a letter M and 8 dots and then 4.
Okay.
So 4.
All right. And so that's our review. All right, I'm sure that we can have a better review than that. So let's see what our review of this bud is.
It tastes amazing. I don't know. It's just you get some of those higher THCs and I feel like you lose some of the flavor.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because I love getting baked before watching and talking about horror movies. It just makes everything. You remember when we talked to Francine Rancone during our Two Witches episode, and he was like, "Why do you guys call yourselves High on Horror?" And I said, "Because we like to smoke weed and watch horror movies." And he laughed, and then he was like, "Yeah, I used to." Actually, I like to smoke weed and watch horror movies too. It's like
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like
and we did. He did show us that there was a script for Two Witches 2.
Two Witches 2, yeah. So we'll definitely see about getting them back on at some point. But
I feel like this. It's definitely sweet.
Yeah, so it smells pretty good. It smells sweet. Definitely has a sweet smell. I'm having a hard time tasting things right now.
You got COVID again? I was gonna say, do we agree with his 4? But I don't think we've ever rated a weed.
No, I taste it now. It's definitely it's earthy. It's definitely earthy. I said earthy, not girthy.
Look at my dumb ass not even coming here with some water.
I'm already kind of high because I smoked the last of my bud earlier, but I feel like I don't know.
Smoke it before I come over. I get it.
I'm supposed to wait till 1 a.m. to smoke, dog. But
yes.
But
I even brought over the Vapor Blue Cheese.
Oh yeah.
That shit tastes like straight diesel.
Yeah, that was what we had earlier. It just smelled like you were siphoning gas.
It did. Yeah. But it's weird because then in my head I'm like, I really like this taste.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, me too.
I was thinking about this earlier today because, you know how you'll get those pens and you'll get ones you really like, and then you're like, damn, I went through half of this.
Yes.
Dude, that one I'm trying so hard. I'm kind of glad they gave me a 1 gram one because I'm hitting it and I'm like, as much as I think I like the sweet tasting ones, I don't know, man. Those gassy diesel ones, I'm just like, I don't know, something about it.
They fuck you up. That's why.
But I don't. It's almost like IPAs with beer. It has that bitter taste, but I like it. Where Nicole Nicole, she hasn't even tried it. And I know she would take it and be like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Most people who vape, they say that. Even some of my friends at work will be like, oh, I like fruit flavors. I like fruity flavors. And I'm like, did you never, like, you don't actually... Like,
Sour D?
Right, like, when you smoke actual flower, you don't really get the fruity flavors that, like, you're getting from this vape. So, like, question, do you actually smoke? Because, like, when your need to have those flavors is why you'll smoke. It's kind of weird, but I've always preferred those because they make me cough harder. I just feel like I get more fucked up off of them.
Yeah, I've been playing the Switch this weekend when I've had some time. And, dude, I take like 2 or 3 of those. And I'm like, I'm just fucking ripped.
Yeah, I smoked a bowl earlier this week and was playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yo, so, I got that game.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I never
dude,
beat
I love it too.
The problem is, it's one of those games where it's been so long since I played it. If I go back, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do.
What your objectives are. Yeah, I feel you.
I fucking love Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's. Thought about Luigi's Mansion.
It's that fucking skate monk. Jesus, I can't even say the fucking
monk.
Jesus, Mandarin skunk.
Skit monk. All right,
Skit
I like
monk?
that better. I like that better.
That's another. That's gonna be if we ever make our own weed. It's gonna be skid monks.
Jesus.
Oh, I guess we should probably get in a movie now.
Yeah, probably.
All right, and today's film, Everyone Will Burn, is a 2021 Spanish film directed by David Hebrero. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Starring Macarena Gomez, Rodolfo Sanchez, Ana Milan, Ruben Ochandio, German Torres, Ella Kawuki, and Raquel Labolis.
Glad I didn't have to say all that.
Yeah, I'm sure I butchered some of them. But the synopsis here, and actually, they sent us 3 different synopsises.
All right.
So, is that right? Synopsises?
Or is it synopsi?
Synopsi?
I don't know. We're too high to be asking questions like this.
I mean, look, they got a full cast. They got a crew.
Yeah,
why don't you take some notes? Take some notes, and as we know it. Anyway, I'll give us the long one. That's what That's what he said. Plagued with the darkness of the heart, Maria Jose is prepared to face the end of her life when she's visited by a strange girl. As residents in her village begin to suffer horrific deaths, Maria Jose is accused of summoning an evil that has been whispered as local legend for generations and must confront her own past or risk fulfilling a prophecy that would bring about the end of the world. This movie was well shot, first off.
Yep.
Well acted.
Within the first 5 minutes, I knew it was going to be good. It was one of those.
Let me tell you my first note.
Okay.
That opening scene, holy fuck. Dude, that shit was fucking wild.
Yep, it's on the poster, yeah.
It's on the poster. Dude, I was like, okay, I'm
As
in.
the title rolls up, that's when you're like, yo, what symmetry is that, right?
And I guess, I don't think we mentioned it, but just in case you are interested in seeing this, if you're not somebody that likes subtitles, the entire movie's in Spanish.
Yeah, it is subtitled in English, but...
The only thing I did not like, but it might just be because we watched it on Vimeo, is that the closed caption, when it had the text at the beginning, I had to like pause it, read it, pause it.
Yeah, it went fast.
It was like went super fast.
Yeah. When they're talking about the prophecy, you mean?
Yeah,
like,
how they there was a child that was sacrificed 40 years before.
I literally thought, oh, I can't believe I caught that in time because it went so quick.
Oh, I just kept pausing it. And Lucia's the little girl.
Yeah.
She felt like Esther from Orphan mixed with Carrie White.
Dude, that's my whole thing. My note that I took when I was watching it was little girl with Carrie powers. I'm in. But here's something. Like, I don't want to be controversial, and I'm not trying to be offensive. And like, so hopefully everybody here listening, if I am being offensive somehow, I hope that like I'm coming from the heart here. And I'm not trying to be. I don't know. Like, was it supposed to be a little girl or a little person? Like, I really don't know because it's played by a little person, but they're calling her a little girl, and it's almost like, I didn't know. I really wasn't sure. I'm like, is she trying to fool people into thinking she's a little girl, or like, I really don't know.
Yeah, because that's the way I took it at first. Because she says it's her daughter.
Yeah. Well, she tells the mom or Maria. She says, I'm your daughter. It's not really her daughter, but.
And for the first like 15, 20 minutes, another note I wrote down is homegirl ever gonna clean herself? Like she was dirty.
She just
for a
shows up
hot
like
minute.
out of the mud. Really, it's like out of just dirt.
Yeah, Maria's, like the synopsis said, she's going to commit suicide, and this little girl just shows up.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how far we should go into stuff, but Maria's son, what was his name? Lolo.
Lolo, correct. Wow, you remembered that. I'm surprised.
He, they say he committed suicide.
He was bullied into suicide, basically. Yeah.
But yeah, they said he was an abomination.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because the what the fuck? Why can't I think? I just literally said her name.
Or
Maria.
Maria's the mom.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like talking about how the whole town was blaming her kid, even though he was bullied.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like it's one of those things you hear and you're like, that's probably just how she like is looking at it.
Yeah.
But no, like this whole town fucking blames the kid. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
The kid that got bullied, like
They
they
really
basically
do.
said it was his fault. And yeah, Maria just kind of really turns a switch after one night with I was going to call her Esther with Lucia. The classic. Oh, I can reproduce your son's voice.
Yeah, that was dark.
After that, she was pretty much like, I'm in.
I have to say, like, although I've never seen anything that they've done, Macarena Gomez and Ana Milan, who play Maria and Tear, fucking kill it. Their performances are worth watching this movie alone. The hour and 55-minute movie, like, holy shit. We're talking, like, two rivals. One's the parent of a kid who did the bullying. One's the parent of a kid who committed suicide from being bullied by said parent's kid. And, I mean, holy shit. Like, these two chicks just fucking hate each other. And you feel the wrath. Like, when, the whole, Hell hath no fury like
A mother
a
scorned.
woman's wait. What the fuck? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and yeah, and it's one of those like, dude, these women are. You see like the hatred and anger. You're really like, man, I do not want to be on these women's bad side. Like, I love the acting. They absolutely tore it down. That in itself made this movie worth watching.
There's a line. I don't know if I should talk about it, but there's a line that when she just goes up and whispers to her, I was like, God damn.
Well, go ahead and say it.
When
Just
she's
say
like, fuck your son.
Oh, yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yes, yeah.
But it's funny because I have that in my, before I give it my score, I mentioned about Macarena. And like, yeah, her acting's top notch. Like,
seriously.
she has, I guess I'll just share part of my review, but like she has to portray so many different emotions throughout this film.
Yeah, man, she just goes hysterical.
And it's just funny because she's this very timid woman, and then like after Lucia reproduces Lolo's voice, like she's in.
She's this shy, cigarette smoking, like keeps to herself woman, and like you said, but like before you give your rating, this movie's about like trauma and her carrying her son, her son's suicide, and as a parent, you can't help but understand that pain. What Maria's going through and her misery. And she says something that stood out to me, and I felt that shit in my soul regarding her dead son. She says, quote, "He was difficult, but he was mine," end quote. And like, I feel that shit deeply, and because my kids are young and they're difficult as shit. I know your kid's a newborn, so he's difficult, but he's mine. You know what I mean? Your kid's yours. So I felt that it's like as flawed as they are, they're mine. Like, fuck you, So great line delivery. That really stood out to me to the point that I made a note of it.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much further and spoil anything, but I guess also I should mention we really didn't touch on. There's a whole dynamic with her ex-husband, who was an artist, and he has a new woman that's 20 years younger than him that he's got pregnant. So there's a whole story with that does. I mean, we didn't even mention it, but it ends up playing a big part.
Yeah, it's like after their son committed suicide, he dipped basically for another woman, and Maria's been selling his artwork to basically survive while he's been out with this new lady. So fair, and I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah. Before we get into any spoilers, I'll just I'll give my rating here. I love this movie so much. I need more Spanish horror. I said after, just like I said, when we needed more Mexican horror after the old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there were parts that made me go, "Why is this in here? This seems stupid. This is actually gonna." Dude, there was one scene. Maybe I'll talk about it in spoilers.
All
but
right.
I literally went, "This was dumb. This is gonna lower my score." But then later it has a payoff, and I'm like, "Damn! Look at me already like jumping to conclusions."
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the string of bad movies we had that I'm just like automatically just pessimistic about something.
Very, very probable.
And like I said, Macarena
Possible. I said
Gomez
probable.
stood out as Maria.
Yeah.
The score was amazing, and Moonlight Sonata is always effective when used well. I love listening to that.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, dude. I mean, yes, we'll talk about that in spoilers.
You know, it's funny because I feel like it had a little touch of the Italian horror to it. I don't know if you got that.
Not so much.
Maybe I felt like more with the like scoring and the music. Although there was one song in there that they actually played like a contemporary song, and that was probably my only complaint. I told Nicole, I'm like, why is this in here?
Yeah, right.
I was like, everything else was like classical music and orchestra stuff for the most part, and then it's just like this modern song is just kind of like thrown in, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. The cinematography top notch as well. I give it an 8.3 out of 10.
Oh, 8.3. Wow.
It's
So
better than the last couple weeks.
as far as like Spanish horror movies go, I'll say that it's no Wreck and it's no Terrified. There's a lot more Spanish horror movies that I prefer to this one, but it's definitely the thing that those movies that I just mentioned and others, if I wanted to go on a tangent of just naming Spanish horror movies, they're older. So this one is actually like one that, even though this one isn't as good, this is the most recent Spanish horror movie I've seen that's stood out to me in years. And I think the story is compelling. I think that if for a gritty movie, in which it is very gritty, it's beautifully shot. Director David Haberero, I think he did a solid job. Damn, I keep going, I hate that. My only, I'm not familiar with any of his other work, but he definitely got my attention with this one. And I guess the best way I can sum this up and review and give a rating without giving spoilers is, for me, at the end of the movie shoves its head up its own ass too much. It becomes too artsy. It's poetic and sad, but it's not the grim apocalyptic story ending that I was expecting. I didn't hate the ending. I'm satisfied with it, I guess. It could have been scarier and more suspenseful, and it could have moved at a faster pace. The good outweighs the bad, but I thought this was going to be perfect up until the last half hour. 7 out of 10 for me.
I like the ending.
Did you?
Yeah.
It felt a little soft for me. 7 out of 10 for me, 8.3 for you. Wow, I was the more critical one this time. Look at that.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump into spoilers. So if you don't like it, just get the hell out, I guess. See, I like the ending. I didn't mind it too bad. And the thing I was saying was that I was like, why did that happen? Was the whole sex scene? Me, like Nicole, were like, why is this in here?
The like quick kitchen sex scene.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Like, I get that they're reconciling, but and then she ends up pregnant, and I was actually talking to you. You didn't know there's actually an after credits scene.
No, like I said. So yes, to everybody
she just
out there,
rolls up with the baby.
You'll have to explain that to everybody listening. I thought watching this movie, because it was so artsy, towards the end especially, I thought this of all movies is not going to play into the after credit sequence, and I shut it off. John's sitting here and he goes, "You watched the after credit sequence?" And I was like, "Nope, I totally missed it." So fill us in. What is it?
It's funny because I've learned that I don't care what movie it is. I keep going forward. I'm like, is there something extra? So Juan, who we didn't even really get into that sub story.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers here.
Yeah, he was a priest. He finds out that the older priest that was a part of them killing the kid 40 years later or earlier. Yeah. There's too much shit that's happening 40 years later in horror movies now. But 40 years before, you find out that's actually his dad, and they basically had him grow up being raised by nuns, but nobody ever told him who his father was.
Right.
and he's like pissed at his dad, that was another thing that I thought was maybe brought it down a little bit for me, was he ends up going with Maria.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're gonna go help with this just because you're mad that
So you're just rebelling and being a douche. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the dude's a teenager, like
Right.
But yeah, in the after credits scene, Juan made it. He's got a metal plate on his head, but he made it. And he's baptizing a baby with the bully's mom. I can't remember her name for some reason.
That's Tara.
Yeah.
T-E-R-E, however you say it. Is it Tara? I don't know.
Yeah, she's there, and there's a baby. The baby's being baptized, and in strolls Maria in all red.
Uh-huh.
And it just has the baby in hand in a stroller. And it's just kind of where the after credit scene ends.
So that's to say that like she has.
She's got a new baby.
And she's got a new baby. So
she got a new baby.
Is it the Antichrist, or do we know? Like that's kind of the theme, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit. What did you think of the the look of the devil? Well, I don't know if I liked it or don't like it.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like because I wasn't expecting it was thrown into it. Like it just literally just happens. He's just there, like in the blink of an eye, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then he's like gone. So I never really comprehended it or processed it. But I guess like disappointing would be a word. But I'm not like I don't hate it. But I get how they were just trying to go for something more realistic. But it kind of looked a little cheap.
Yeah, like they did. I will say they pretty much played it pretty straight. There was no. Well, I mean, there's twists, but like it wasn't like, oh, are they talking about the Like, it's pretty clear they're talking about the devil and the Antichrist.
Right.
Or like, because she always references his father. Dude, because the first one, I was like, what the fuck? Is when she brings her home and Maria comes out and she's like, who are you talking to? Father.
Yeah, right.
She's like, how are you talking to your father? I was like, oh, shit. The devil just popping in for a little chat.
Yeah.
Yo, I still think one of the best lines in the movie. And I kind of like how they played that too, because for the longest time they were playing up that like they killed the wrong kid. Wrong kid died. But when they talk to when they go to the old priest, he was like, "No, we killed the right kid," and he was like, "But then why is it back?" And I was like, "Damn." I'm not religious, but that's a pretty badass line where he said, he's like, if you think God's stubborn, imagine how the devil is. I was like, damn. That's
very true.
Good.
That's a good comparison. Yeah, when you think of that, you're going to go, okay, yeah.
Yeah, where they're all thinking they killed the wrong kid, and he's just like, no, we killed the right kid. He's just back again.
Yeah.
Guess who's back? Shady's back. But,
yeah, so
I don't think I got anything else.
Yeah, same here. I think that this movie's worth checking out for sure if you're into foreign horror movies, and like John said, don't mind reading subtitles. If you like end of the world,
he won't listen to this. But
if you like end of the world movies, apocalyptic movies, and girls with carry weight powers,
dude,
by all means, check it out.
Yeah, that first scene when we didn't even talk. When that cop was walking up, it's kind of like you knew something was going to happen. I just wasn't prepared for him to straight stab him in the neck like that.
Yeah, right.
Dude, and then he just makes him walk over and just set himself on fire. Oh, the other one we didn't talk about.
You see her look at the cop, and you're like, "Oh, something just happened," and then you didn't expect it to be that, though.
The other thing I want to talk about, it was the one scene that made me go, ugh, is when the kids are bullying her.
Yeah.
And the kid like fake like punches her, and then you just like see his hand turn, and she's literally forcing his fist and just like breaking his teeth.
Oh yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that one was rough. But yeah, so
yeah,
I guess
now time to dip out.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the horror hounds and smokers out there for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on social media at High on Horror 420 on Facebook, X, Instagram, what the fuck else? TikTok, OnlyFans. I don't think you'll find us on OnlyFans. If there's a High on Horror on OnlyFans, it's not us. Unless you're impressed, then it is us. Anyway, follow that and you find out our next episode. Send us some PPA questions, highonhorror420@gmail.com. Check out our website, highonhorror.com. And I guess I'll about wrap her up. Catch you later.
See you next week.